Thanks, Abby. We are live in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where the Financing for Development Conference is taking place. And the key issue here is how exactly developing countries and the world at large can be able to finance their own economies. Africa as a continent is one that receives most of the donor aid that comes from developed countries. In the year 2000, the African continent received the largest share of donor aid. It was about $700 billion. And in the year 2014, we received over $1 trillion here on the African continent. Now, one of the challenges that we continue to face is illicit financial flows. When you look at the African continent and developing countries on the African continent, one of the challenges we continue to face is fighting graft and corruption. A country like Kenya, for instance, loses about 400 billion shillings every year in corruption. And when it comes to illicit financial flows, it is said that the continent loses over 400 billion. That is a large sum of money that we are talking about. And so what's happening here at the Financing for Development Conference is to forge a way in which a tax body can be created to curb on illicit financial flows and also to track where exactly this money is going. One of the other issues that did come up is the fact that leaders on the African continent are accommodating illicit financial flows. And how exactly can this be dealt with? It can be dealt with by having stringent measures to deal with graft as well as corruption. And also we are seeing that at also this conference, what is taking place is we're seeing how exactly Africa can be able to finance her own economy. It is possible, but with the challenge of fighting corruption, it is almost a dream for most African countries. So how do we forge a way forward? This is the post-2015 development agenda that is being discussed here after knowing that 2015 is the deadline for the Millennium Development Goals. What we're looking at here now is strategizing on how to sustain the development goals that have been put out. And the Sustainable Development Goals for now are about 17, among them development for African countries, and also seeing and ensuring that African countries can be able to sustain the development that is occurring right now. Africa is the fastest growing continent across the world, and so these sustainable development goals cannot be achieved without governments coming together and ensuring that they are developing these countries for their own economic agenda. So what does it mean for a country like Kenya to be a part of the decision makers who are forming a tax body to deal with illicit financial flows?
Well, I think it means a lot, and Kenya has a lot to gain. I just want to put things a bit into perspective that currently there isn't such a body. Such a body does not exist. What we have at the UN level is a committee that is comprised of people who do not have power, they don't have the resources, and they don't even seem to have the mandate actually to come up with rules and regulations. So what we in the civil society are advocating for is for for a commission, a body that is well resourced, that is very transparent, and that is very inclusive, so that countries like Kenya can sit in that body and make those rules. And when they do, then it has a lot of impact on our own economy, because then we are able to regulate a lot of the tax, for example, tax laws. We are able to take part in those decisions, and they can impact positively on us.
All right. And for Kenya?
Well, if we have a body that at that level that regulates, that means also there is good communication between the tax administrators. So we speak the same language. And as I said, taxation system is like an environment issue, whereby if one country does not respect the environment, it affects the others. So if one country does not allows for tax evasions, corruption, and the like, it affects the tax basis of the other countries. So if there is a body of that nature that regulates, that means that then it also makes us do our bid. So that means we will actually fight corruption. That means, and we are doing, and it means that we can also advocate strongly against illicit capital flows. We can legislate or advocate strongly against tax havens that are found outside our country, so that our money doesn't go there. And that's, of course, if you are able to fight all that, then you can change the economy and change the face of the country.
And for Kenya to be a part of this, how would it change the face, say, for instance, of Kenya in fighting corruption as well as dealing with tax evasion?
Well, if we have a body that at that level that regulates, that means also there is good communication between the tax administrators. So we speak the same language. And as I said, taxation system is like an environment issue, whereby if one country does not respect the environment, it affects the others. So if one country does not allows for tax evasions, corruption, and the like, it affects the tax basis of the other countries. So if there is a body of that nature that regulates, that means that then it also makes us do our bid. So that means we will actually fight corruption. That means, and we are doing, and it means that we can also advocate strongly against illicit capital flows. We can legislate or advocate strongly against tax havens that are found outside our country, so that our money doesn't go there. And that's, of course, if you are able to fight all that, then you can change the economy and change the face of the country.
As African countries, is it even possible that we can be able, even with a body in place, be able to deal with, say, for instance, tax evasion?
I think we can. If we are sitting in that body, for example, and we have a number of representatives from Africa within the same body, I think then we are able to do it together, because we're doing it together. One country cannot do it alone. Let's not kid ourselves. One country cannot do it alone, because I do it and the next country is not doing it. But if together we are in that body and we're united and we speak the same voice, we are able to manage to do that. And also we have a body like the AU. I think at that level where we are all member states, we are able, if we are provided with that kind of body, we have the power, even using the AU, to be able to legislate for a lot of things and change what's happening in our countries.
What kind of change would be put in place in case we have this tax body? What would change about our countries?
You would see uniform systems of taxation, for example, internally, because there's this problem of a mismatch of taxation in the country. Some people paying more than others, some people not paying, and then you have the private sector actually evading, because they seem to be provided with the so-called tax holidays. But with those types of systems, then you will see that actually it does oblige everybody to do their bid. So taxation systems will be fair, and everybody, including the private sector, will avoid the evasion and provide taxes to the respective countries where they are investing.